Pere, pere, pere. Pere, 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 pere. Gotcha.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. We are getting into One Piece episodes 8:15 and 8:16 today. Hope y'all having a good week. It's been quite the weekend for me. I mentioned this quite a while ago, I think, but I'm moving soon. A few weeks here, and my girlfriend and I just got the keys to the new place, so we're very excited. Busy, planning it. I don't know about y'all, but I freaking hate moving, dude. It's like I don't even have that much stuff. I live in a single apartment right now, right? Like it's not like I've acquired a ton of furniture and all this crap. In fact, I'm getting rid of most of my stuff because my girlfriend has a lot of like nice furniture. I just have like this crappy couch I'm just gonna throw out and stuff. But still, like it's just so much logistics to think about. And outside of your normal life, like work and this whole hobby I have here that I put lots of hours into, just another layer of things to think about on top, but it'll be worth it. We're very excited about the new place. I hope y'all will be excited too, because I'll have like my own room for my YouTube setup and workstation and all that, so it'll be a little bit cooler to mess with. I mean, I feel like I've done the best that I can. I shoot this in like my main living room, right? So it's kind of like weird angles, and I don't know, the depth's a little bit further back than I would like and stuff. So it'll be interesting kind of being able to like mess around and try to make it look as cool as possible. So we'll see what it looks like. But yeah, things are exciting on that front. So, but not as exciting as One Piece, of course. Let's go ahead and recap the character ratings from last time. We gave MVP to Pedro the Jaguar. Yeah, he was just a diversion, main centerpiece there, kind of coming in clutch and trying to take the attention away from Brook, being able to actually get into the room, and Brook was able to infiltrate. So for the best moment, we gave that to Big Mama, and kind of the conversation with Nami and Luffy about Lola, getting a little bit more information. I don't know, any part that expands the world or connects dots in One Piece is always my favorite part of the story, so it's easy for that. But I liked how like Luffy was all like, quit crying about it, because Big Mama gave all this information about how Lola refusing to get married kind of like fell through on like a big political marriage that, in her eyes would have made her king of the pirates at this point. So pretty interesting stuff. And lastly, for the funniest moment, we gave that to Brook when he said, when he was, about to use his guitar and like all the homies are coming after all the chess pieces. He's like, wait, I'm not tuned yet. I'm not tuned. I'm happy we're getting a little bit more of Brook again. Like having like a smaller group in Whole Cake Island has kind of, although I miss a lot of the other characters, I mean, I really do miss a lot of them. It's kind of like nice kind of having a smaller cast so you get some focus on each character for a while. I feel like Oda's actually done a pretty good job balancing that. Like the crew is the best part of the show, like the best characters, but it's probably a hard thing to balance as an author, having that many like main characters. Like none of them are like side characters in my opinion at this point. Like all of them are like just as important. Maybe not as Luffy, but as each other, and they're a centerpiece of the cast. But yeah, I think with that being said, we can go ahead and get in these episodes. If y'all are interested, check out the page on the link below. We will be 4 weeks ahead there, uncut reactions, or like, comment, subscribe if you want to follow on for more on the YouTube front. Appreciate any support, and let's go ahead and get into this, y'all. Oh, we left off with Sanji saying he wanted to marry her, right? Or he proposed to her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not causing problems. Pudding's got a good read on him. Tell me what she said. Is she gonna walk away from the marriage like Lola did?
レイジは
さあな、さっきどこかへ出てった。
They're back.
茶より酒だろう。
Fair enough.
お茶。
Oh my god.
大事なのは娘の方だ。あの娘を人質にしておかねば、今後どんな要求をしてくるか。相手は海賊だぞ。
Scheming.
サンジを人質にしてんじゃねえの。
バカ言え、ニジ。もしそうだとしても、サンジを殺すと言われて、我々。
Yeah, not at all.
楽しみだな。またサンジと暮らせるなんて。
They just live off of his suffering.
ああ、
お伝えご苦労。
報告なす。現在、麦わらのルフィと泥棒猫を拘束中なす。
ルフィとナミさんが大丈夫だ。明日プリンちゃんとの結婚式が終われば、ルフィたちは解放される。
He trusts in a lot of bad people.
今なお暴れているのは、ミンク族の男とソウルキング。
Baluka. Man, not gonna be able to control everyone, man.
頼んだ食材はああ、これナス。腹減ったんなら何かナスでも。
エンデス、プリンちゃん、夜の会食に来なかったから、何か作って持っていくんだ。心配だしな。
ええ、まだ気分が優れナスらしくて。
I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready for this whole set of events here to end. This whole mirror world and everything. It's been going on for too long. Nice. Okay, carrots. Dude, I miss the old roar they had for him. Sounds so much cooler. Bro, this croc is cooked. This guy's character design is one of the weirdest for sure. Like, why? Got you. I forgot about Garchu, dude. How could I like forget about it, man? Bah. Choniki. Oh yeah, I was curious about this. Yeah, if like he could actually like remove the soul from them, from the homies. It's kind of scary, man. The Soul King can manipulate souls, eh? Interesting. Nice. Dude, the bunny. Taste my cold steel. Damn. Cool shot there, man. I like that. He's smooth. Smooth with it. There goes their spines, bro. Jeez, through the shield too. I mean, that guy's dead, right?
得るもの得なくちゃ面目丸つぶれでしょうが誰が潰れる面が
This is so ridiculous, bro. Yes, I can hear you. Big Mama is pissed. Sanji. Fuck. Rob it. She's not even in this. Not even in this arc. Now they were gonna like try to take like a print of this or something. If I remember right.
Mama, わざわざ来なくても、ここは私が。どいてなスムージー。
Dude, when she makes Smoothie look small, that's crazy. Jeez, man. Holy. Where's all this power coming from?
誰だい？俺のお楽しみに手をかける。身の程知らず。
That was a cool shot. Big oh mama. Oh, yeah, she's gonna like him. Just pudding or?
おかしいわね。
Oh no, it's Reiju. Reiju scheming over here. What? No. Bro, is she... I mean, I don't know why she would be alive, but... Dang. Bone!
Tamago 男爵ノックス海賊団キャプテンペドロ
Nox Pirates. Okay, we got a name for it. I don't think we knew that.
顔を合わせると互いに左目の傷がうずくでとわえもは
Both have.
もうろくに生きられぬはずですぐれあの日お前はママから50年の寿命を奪われているのだ
What?
ボン承知の上だ
50 years.
俺は生きて故郷に帰る気などない
Dang, dude. This episode's going nuts right now, bro. Where she gets shot? You get all wrapped up in himself? Oh my god. Looks like it hurt. Oh man, Gum Gum power never ceases to amaze. Alright, let's go to the next one. What the?
無駄なことを
I know. Ah! Bro, don't. Oh my gosh. Dude, thank God. Dude, if he tore his arms like that.
って言ってるわ
Crazy, bro. Unhinged Luffy. I'm wondering who shot her, if it was I was thinking maybe it's like Capone or something. I don't know. Just hanging
見て
around.
の通りですロードポーネグリフの写しをいただこうと思い
観念して降りてきな
That face, bro. Okay, Brooke. Head on. Dude. What a shot.
はあお前俺とやろうってのか
まだ目的を遂げていませんからね石の写しを手に入れるんです
Highly doubtful, but respectable for sure.
まんまなめられたもんだね
なめるだなんてとんでもないこっちは命をかけてるんです
This is cool. We're gonna get to see her powers more directly. Dude, the Prometheus one looks real evil. Ah, okay, so it shows bounty. 30, that's no joke, bro. I'm 382. Okay. This looks like they, seemed like they both took each other's eyes at the last time they confronted each other. Dude, wow. I love the electricity. It looks so cool. What the hell's going on with his legs?
対策済みか採用エレクトロが効かぬタイツを履いているフリー
Special tights.
亡き友のために、あれがホールケーキじゃどうか
A panda.
さてここからどうするペドロ相手はビッグマムだ一筋縄じゃいかんぞゼポ
Zeppo?
兄貴やっぱり兄貴たちユガラはガルチュガルチュ
Oh.
それより兄貴たちこそここで何を知らない方がいいぐ
追い詰めたぞ
ここまでだボンポーネグリフ泥棒宝物の間は何人たりとも立ち入らせないボン
Man, I feel like the pace of this whole plot line has really picked up these set of episodes. Crazy. Also, animation's been real smooth. Is that when he got his eye?
大丈夫かペドロ。
俺はな、
おのれ。
The scale, dude. Wow, what a flattering angle that is for Big Mama, huh?
この手で型をつけるでシルブプレ。
Now, who got his eye, though? Pedro's.
目じゃすまんぞ。
Dude, the Baron's character design is so geeky. Oh, man. Ooh. Okay.
今でもこの左目がうずくで不意。君に疲れた痛みを思い出すとはれ。
俺と手を忘れるはずがない。この左目に刻まれている。
やってくれたね、盗っ人ども。
兄貴、どうしてか。
落とし前をつけてもらうよ。ルーレット持ってこい。お前から回しな。
Jeez. This is what Jinbei had to spin, right? Dude, what a shot. There's been awesome frames in these two episodes.
100年の寿命の罰だ。こいつは30年しか命を持ってなかったよ。足りない分の落とし前は相棒のお前に払ってもらう。
He lost with 50, so is this where Peckham's asked for her to spare him, I guess?
お願いだママ。俺の兄貴分だったんだ。70年持ってかれたらペドロの兄貴も死んじまう。よせペコムズ、見苦しいでも。
泣くなペコムズ。わかった。10年だ。10年負けてやるよ。だが卵の片目を奪った罪は重いよ。不服だってのかいペコムズ。
それは。
Did he take his own eye?
おい、ビッグマム。
Wow.
これで何年減らせる。
Wow.
この
Pedro,
島に
dude.
世界の夜明けの日は近い。俺は帰らねばならん。
はあ、
Wow.
いい男だね。50年で手を打とう。
レック・ベネディクト。ペドロ、なぜまたここへ戻った。相棒を殺され50年の寿命を奪われたこの悪夢の姉妹。
麦わらの一味は我が故郷を救ってくれた恩人たち。重ねていずれ世界を夜明けへと導く者たちだと俺は信じる。
Yeah.
奴らに何ができる。ここをどこだと思ってるボン。
俺は麦わらの一味を信じる。そう思えばこそ残りわずかなこの寿命も使って悔いなし。
Respectable. Whoa. How'd he do that? What the fuck? An actual A came out of it? Let's go, Pedro.
まだ死なん。
Damn. Hype, hype, hype. That was so sick, dude. Love the backstory too. Like him taking out his eye. Badass, man. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and talk about these episodes for a little bit. Really love these two set of episodes. Probably the best ones we've had in a little bit. yeah, I'd say probably since, Sanji and Luffy's confrontation. But, overall, I just really loved the pacing of these episodes. So much going on at once, so it kind of kept each scene really fresh. That's kind of one of the things with One Piece is like sometimes the pacing can be really slow. It's really focused on one fight or it's an extended fight, and it can kind of drag on a little bit. But it's really not as bad when it's jumping around like this. I feel like, maybe it's like just an anime thing. Maybe in the manga it's not quite as bad, but I feel like if they did this more often, they would just like flash it from thing to thing to keep people's, or like it would feel a little bit better paced at least. I don't know. But also it wasn't even just that. Like the animation was really, really good. Like I really was impressed with the animation with Pedro versus Tamago. Really, really like, I don't know, it's a little bit different than animation I've seen in One Piece so far. There was definitely, a lot of standard stuff, but there was a few specific scenes where they like animated like, the trails of them to kind of show their speed and stuff. It looked really cool. And yeah, just a lot of big things happening too. Like, Reiju getting shot, Pedro versus Tamago and his backstory, Luffy trying to escape and nearly tearing his arms off, Big Mama and Brook. Crazy, man. So much going on. Let's talk about the beginning though, with putting kind of where we left off in the previous episodes, putting kind of coming and telling Luffy and Nami that Sanji proposed to her. And it's interesting, she says it made her really happy, but that, she said, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna marry him." And you can see she's like sad about it, or like, but happy too. And I think she says this because she knows that Sanji's just trying to be nice to her. So she's really perceptive of Sanji's situation. We've talked a lot about how Sanji is really being very self-sacrificing in these scenarios, thinking only of the people he loves versus himself and what he needs. And Pudding, who is ultimately just ends up to be such a real one in this, like, she knows this, she can read it, and she's not going to let him do that. She's going to be the one to maybe do some self-sacrificing here, which is interesting that she's going to do that instead. Maybe she's kind of, similar to Sanji in that way. She even said it. She's like, I'm causing everyone problems here. It's not her problem. It's Big Mama and the Vinsmoke family, right? Like Sanji and Pudding are both putting so much of the blame on themselves for some reason, or at least like the responsibility, the pressure to fix it without implicating others. But it doesn't usually work that way, especially in this kind of show and like this world. But yeah, we don't get the whole dialogue to what she whispers to Luffy, but based off like Luffy's strong reaction and Pudding saying goodbye, I'm imagining either Pudding's gonna run away to kind of like try to throw a wrench in all this, or she's gonna make some kind of like sacrifice, like, stand up to Big Mama or do something crazy like that that's going to lead to her death potentially. Now let's jump over to Brook because, we get pretty much confirmation that he can remove the souls from homies' bodies through the shout of the soul. That's what he called it, his song, I guess. I don't remember if we've seen examples of the shout of the soul. I know we've seen him use it like a music attack before, but it's been a minute now, so I can't really remember. But that's really interesting because he obviously defeats the homies, and then he takes out the rest of the guys who aren't homies with his sword powers and stuff. Really cool. Once again, cool animation there too. Like even like that fight had really good animation. But ultimately, this makes me very curious because Big Mama ends up coming and confronting him. I love their back and forth. Like Brook just being so matter of fact, being honest, like having, I don't know, just like such a level of like duty here. And he's like, this is what it is. I'm going to face because I got to fulfill this mission for my partner that, is sacrificing himself to a degree. I don't know. There's so much like themes around like duty and sacrifice, responsibility in like these few episodes and just in this arc in general. It's very intriguing to think about. But getting back to Brook's power, because Big Mama summons Zeus and Prometheus and her hat, right? They're all alive. I'm imagining they're filled with people's souls, filled with their life. So I'm wondering if Brook actually is kind of like a good natural opponent for Big Mama. Can he like, separate out their souls from those beings, those inanimate objects? That'd be really, really interesting. But yeah, we'll have to see with that one. And then yeah, Reiju getting shot. It looked like she was trying to go talk to Sanji, it seems, but she's being very sneaky about it. We don't see who shoots her, but, you know, I said in the reaction that the first thing that comes to mind is Capone, but we haven't seen him in a minute either, though. So I don't know, maybe it makes sense for him to come back in this way. Reiju seemed to recognize them person, though, so maybe it's someone under Big Mama, or I don't know, maybe, yeah, I don't know what else there could be, to be honest, but very curious about that. And Pudding finds her, you know, I guess she got shot in the leg. It looked like she got shot in the head, but Pudding finds her, and I'm sure we'll probably find out in the next couple episodes what happened. All right, let's talk a little bit about Pedro. You know, we get a few things. He's from the Nox Pirates. He's a 382 million bounty, so no slacker there. Really cool. And we get his backstory. You know, well, we get a few things. We get confirmation that, I mean, I guess it wasn't confirmation. We didn't know that Tamago or him were missing an eye. You know, Tamago takes off his sunglasses and he's missing his eye, and then, you know, Pedro takes off or moves his hair and he's missing an eye. And so, like, my automatic reaction was, oh, they must have both had taken each other's eyes at the same time. That'd be pretty cool. But it's even sicker than that. And, you know, we get this whole backstory in between the fight. I thought that this was one of the best balanced parts of this, was flashing back and forth to the flashback and this real fight. It kind of broke it up in such a good way. I guess, you know, Pedro went there with another mink, Zeppo, who is a panda mink, of course. And, you know, ultimately, of course, they got caught. And we always had heard they got caught, and that, I guess, Peckham's had kind of got Mama to spare Pedro. But it's kind of a little bit more complicated than that. Zeppo had 100 years of his life taken from the roulette, the whole roulette thing. That's really interesting too. We'll talk a bit more about that. But he only spent 30. He only had 30 years left, so there's 70 years left, and they're gonna use that on Pedro, and of course that would kill him too, assuming that minks just kind of have like a regular lifespan as humans. But that's where Peckham's comes in and, you know, kind of begs Mama for mercy, but she only gives him 10 years, so it'd be 60. And then, you know, she's like, well, it's a serious crime. Like, you know, she took out Tamago's eye, and then Pedro taking his eye out. Oh, that was so sick, dude. I was like, damn, that's badass. Really, really cool. And obviously she took 50 years from him at that point, and he survived. But ultimately, it's kind of showing how Pedro is kind of using the last bit of his life here to support the Straw Hats. You know, he's paying off, I guess, what he owes to the Straw Hats, or what he feels like he owes them when they saved Zoe Island and all his brethren, right? I think that shows a lot of his character to go somewhere. You know, we talked a little bit about this, you know, in like the small little bits we got when they're kind of infiltrating Whole Cake Island originally, that Pedro had been here before. But the fact that he had like so many bad memories of this place, he lost a friend here, you know, he lost his eye here, he lost a lot of his life here. The fact that he's willing to go back to an island like this to support the Straw Hats, and you know, he could just live out his days peacefully somewhere, you know, away from it all, but, you know, he has the character to believe in the Straw Hats and you know, trust his master's judgment in them, his own judgment in them. So yeah, honestly, huge boost for Pedro, in my opinion. I really got close to his character in these episodes. I've always liked him, but, you know, he hasn't been super fleshed out yet, and this added a lot of depth, and that's awesome to see in his character. But definitely worrisome, because it seems like, you know, by the end of this arc, he's probably going to sacrifice himself, since he doesn't have much to live. That's that kind of the feeling I get from it. But let's talk about the roulette wheel a little bit, especially around Jinbei, because Big Mama was going to use the roulette wheel on him. And I don't remember if, like, we don't really get confirmation if it happened or not. And I really don't remember if Jinbei actually left. I think there was a scene a few episodes ago where the townsfolk were kind of like making fun of Jinbei about backing out of it or something. Maybe I'm remembering that incorrectly, but yeah, it makes the stakes of Jinbei leaving way, way worse, right? I mean, you saw all those levels. Like, there's like the least one was like 10, and there's like up to 1,000, which is just crazy. Some generational debt of your soul that Mama's gonna take. But it's weird because it breaks up into a few like body parts and stuff too. So I'm curious about that. If like it's not all just your life that she could take, but maybe like limbs and stuff too. Who knows? All right, let's go and move on to the character ratings. For MVP and best moment, I gotta give it to Pedro, dude. Like, I just talking about this, but I really loved how much more his character was developed in these episodes. I kind of admire his character, to be honest, like, and not his literal character, but the character of his character. Just really great scene. That I love the fight scene with him. I think the importance of him coming back to this island with all this baggage underneath him, how much he lost. He's got a lot of reasons to get vengeance, I guess, but ultimately he's there for the Straw Hats, which I think it's much more justifiable for him. But yeah, for the best moment part of it, it has to be when he cuts out his own eye. I think that's so badass. And like what he says afterwards, he's like, he doesn't want to die because the new world's kind of just coming into its age. Like, it's the time to be there, and he doesn't want to leave the world yet, which I guess Big Mama could respect about him to a degree and give him 10 more years off his debt. The last one for the funniest moment, I'm gonna give that to Niji with the green tea scene again. The green tea dudes are hilarious. And he's like, which one? He's like, how about booze? And they're like, no. So ridiculous, man. I love it. But yeah, I think that'll do for these episodes. Seems like it's picking up, man. Getting into the thick of it now. I'm excited for it. Appreciate y'all being here to watch with me. I hope y'all have a really good rest of your week, and I will catch you for the next episodes. Peace.